let's do some structure stuff, okay? You were thinking to go home early, but when's the last time that happened with Geshe? Let's do some structure stuff, but I will still try to finish early, okay? Just try. No promise. We're supposed to be talking about the foundation 18 courses. We're trying to do a couple things. We're trying to identify which topic and which school and what's the famous book that's used. And then of course we want to know the topic. And the last thing, we want to know the flow. Why did it come from the last one? And why is it going into the next one? Geshe told you the secret teaching. Like, I don't know, somebody did a bad translation of, what's it called? Tibetan Book of the Dead. Or something like that, you see? Like, or my lama was sick and I had extra time. So I did the diamond cutter suit. But you're not going to say that, okay? You're going to say, logically, emptiness teaching should come. Course 6, Geshe said. Okay, there's open teaching, there's secret teaching, okay? Okay. Course 13, I lost half my students because it was so hard. So I did course 14 is how to love. Like it's the touchy-feely course. You know, they all came back, by the way. So that's the flow, but don't tell anybody. We'll say Buddhist logic is necessary and compassion is necessary to that. Okay, so what course were we on? Don't remember. We finished Bodhisattva vows. We finished 8. We finished death and then what's 9? Oh yeah, another popular class. You're a bad person, stop doing it. Yeah, so I met the highest lama in the world, by the way, and they asked me, I offered them the courses in person, and then they said, well, how did you handle Vinaya? Because I'm not supposed to teach monk vows to people who don't have monk vows. So they said, oh, that must have been a short course, because you can only do the one-day vows and the lifetime vows. And I said, well, I used Tsongkapa, okay, which is a famous summary of the vows without mentioning the vows. Okay, so I'm still legal. Okay, if you want to know the vows, 253 monks' vows, 364 nuns' vows. The nuns' vows in Tibet have been lost for, I don't know, 1,000 years or 800 years, okay? Some king, evil king, killed all the nuns. And there weren't enough survivors to hold the ceremony to make a new nun. So there has to be more than, I think there has to be 21 or so, I don't know, 20. There has to be a certain number of nuns there. And he killed so many that there wasn't enough nuns to make a new full nun. So for the last, I don't know, 800 years I'm guessing, you couldn't take full nuns' vows in Tibet. And guess who revived them? Diamond Mountain. Okay, we did it here. We found the 364 vows, and we worked hard on them. And we found the ancient ceremonies for making nuns, and we recovered them, John Brady. And we've translated them, and we made full nuns here. And it was very controversial. We got criticized by big people. And now they're doing it themselves. Okay, so anyway, I want to brag about course number 9. And it's an amazing summary of the Vinaya Sutra written by Tsongkapa. Okay, and yeah. Now, that book is so short that you need an explanation, okay? And I decided to use one by, say, Lama Quicksilver. Okay, his name is Ngul Chu. ngulchu, quicksilver, silver water, ngulchu. Quicksilver, mercury, which is used in Tantra, by the way, in the ancient times. Don't use it, it's a poison. Don't try it, okay? But his name is Lama Quicksilver. And he's an amazing Lama from about 300 years ago. And he's famous for very good commentaries. So we used his explanation of Tsongkapa's summary of the 8 kinds of pratimoksha vows. Say pratimoksha. For 10 cents. What's it mean? Yeah, okay, Hasso 5 cents each. Okay. Hasso gets 5 cents, Word gets 5 cents. Finally what they're worth. Okay. Just kidding. Don't get 8 worldly thoughts about it. Okay. Yeah, the subject of Vinaya is pratimoksha vows, which means the vows you have to keep to reach nirvana. Okay? Not Buddhahood, but to stop your suffering personally. The vows of monks, nuns, lifetime layman vow, one-day vows, which Allison also did a great job translating, and Stanley. Okay? And you can ask them for the translation someday. They did the Mahayana one-day vow, which is not in this course. Say again? Yeah, we translated it and we did it in Thailand. So if you want a copy, talk to them. There's a one-day vow you can take with fasting. You can fast for the day. And it's a very sweet vow. It's a one-day Mahayana vow. But there is a one-day vow, Hinayana vow, which we will study in this course. And they're very similar. Most of it is similar, okay? Now, so we have the commentary by Quicksilver. Listen. Going backwards, Geshe Michael, Khen Rinpoche, Trijang Rinpoche, Pabongka Rinpoche's Lama, you can go back like that, you will hit Lama Quicksilver. I'm talking tantric lineage. Okay, I'm talking Diamond Way lineage. Quicksilver's explanation of how to meet the Jinggang Yujamo, Angel of Diamond, how to find her, how to meet her, and how to become her student, which is one of the biggest subjects of Tantra. He wrote the best books. He wrote 2 of the best books. Okay, so if you ask about flow, what's the answer? Geshe-la was setting you up for Tantra in the lowest school. Okay? And the lesson there is, why we have a book by Lama Quicksilver about the lowest school? What's the flow answer? He wrote a lot of the books you're going to study in Tantra course. I translated the whole book. Okay? You're going to get the whole Lama Quicksilver's Jinggang Yujamo. Okay? So that's part of the flow. Part of the flow of DCI Foundation Course number 9 is to set you up for Tantra before you know. Okay? People say, oh, Geshe-la, it's not very interesting. Yeah, but you cannot enter Tantra without it. Okay? Okay? Without a good ethical life, you will fail if you try to do Tantra. Okay? It's the foundation of Tantra. Treating other people kindly, treating other people respectfully, is the basis of secret practice, okay? And if you don't know Vinaya, you can't touch Tantra, okay? There's a direct connection, okay? Why? You want to see angels come to you and teach you in person, you better have some good seeds. How do you make good seeds? You be nice to other people. Well, how do I make those seeds? There's a book called Vinaya Sutra. It tells you the coolest seeds to make. Okay, got it? No killing, no stealing other people's wives, etc., etc., okay? It doesn't sound very sexy, but it's the ultimate sexy. Okay? Keep your vows. treat other people nice. Treat other people as you would like to be treated yourself. Okay, good. Yeah, so the main book is called The Essence of the Ocean, Dua Gyatso Nyingpo. And the commentary is by Master Dharmabhadra, Master Quicksilver. Okay. By the way, I think I asked you this question already. In this course, towards the end, I threw in another letter by Tsongkapa to his disciple that he banished to East Tibet to make 108 monasteries, okay? There's a second letter in the 18 courses, and it comes in course 9. There's a second letter that Tsongkapa wrote to him, and it's a response to a letter that he got from Ngawan Dakpa, who said, I not only built these monasteries, but I created a bunch of monks and nuns. I made the first monks and nuns in the east part of Tibet. He's bragging to his teacher. And Tsongkapa wrote him back a long letter, which I translated and put into this course. Why? Yeah. In the letter, Tsongkapa draws the connection between Vinaya and successful meditation. Okay? Because people are always asking me, Geshe-la, do we put the left foot up first or do we put the right foot up first? You know? Do we use a soft cushion or a hard cushion? Do we put the left hand down first or the right hand? You know, do we connect the thumbs or we don't? Do we do chin mudra or we hold it up or we hold it down? People are always asking me stuff like this. And as an ACI teacher, give them a serious answer. Oh, always hold them up. Always left foot first, then right foot. Always left hand down first, right hand down first. Many prana reasons you have to do that. Then when they get to course 9, tell them it doesn't matter at all. Okay? What makes good meditation? It's not how you sit. It's how you treat other people. And that was Tsongkapa's greatest contribution to the practice of meditation in his life. Okay, and he wrote thousands of pages about meditation. But that little letter that he wrote to his beloved disciple, that he kicked out to go do organizing work, right, Jasmine? In other countries, like Bali or Thailand. You know, he loved the student so much that he gave the student the most important job. And they had a beautiful relationship, okay? And then he wrote the letter and he said, listen, I'm so happy you made some monks. And I'm so happy they are learning the old monks' rules because they will have good meditation. He didn't say they will be nice people or everyone will like them. He said, only those people will have good meditation. Because what you hear in your mind as you try to meditate is coming out of the seed you planted last week. Okay? If your mind keeps talking about lunch, it's because you bothered someone else's concentration last week. Your husband was trying to focus on something for work, and you came in and, honey, you know, wait, I want to tell you about what's going on, you know. And so interrupting people, bothering other people is a special cause to have your own mind talking about lunch during meditation. Okay, so respect other people's peace of mind. Okay, by the way, respecting other people's concentration. Okay, they're focusing on a project, they're learning some music, they're enjoying some music, you know, not bother checking people before you talk to them, okay, checking if it's a good time for them is a very important skill for a meditator, because those are the seeds you need to meditate. Okay, if you respect other people's peace of mind and you don't irritate them, you don't bother them. If you have to tell them bad news, pick the time. Morning is good time, and never criticize someone in the evening. Okay, if you got to tell your student bad news, tell them in the morning. Okay, because otherwise they won't sleep, and they'll be a wreck the next day and the next day. Okay, give people bad news in the morning. Okay, give them good news in the evening. Okay, general 66 rule for you. Okay, if you have to criticize your student, do it in the morning. Okay, that gives them time to recover. Okay, all right. Respect other people's peace of mind. The 10 good deeds is a good list of respect. The 10 good deeds list is a great way to have good meditation. And that's an important teaching by Tsongkapa that he wrote to his disciple, and we added it to this course. Cool? Okay. I had something else to say about that. What was that? Yeah. Anyway, that's enough. Yeah, if you want your mind to be quiet, that's seeds opening in your mind at 65 per second of silence. Silence seeds are opening 65 per second in your mind. And that's what you call good meditation. Okay? You got a string of good seeds going off 65 per second. Silence seeds, balance seeds, satisfactions, contentment seeds. All these beautiful meditations, focus seeds. You have to plant them, okay? You have to plant them on purpose. Don't expect to have watermelons if you didn't plant them. It rarely happens, okay? Plant your meditation for next week, this week, by not bothering other people. I know what I wanted to add. Say she. Say is part of the word. Say she. Okay, Mr. Know-it-all. Say she. Say number she. Come on. Who's got that? Huh? She is the same. 4. Right, sir? Sir. Same. I think it came from the same root. Same is food. Sustenance. Yeah, 4 kinds of sustenance. 4 things you need to eat every day or 2, or you will get sick, or you won't live, okay? First one is easy, kam kise. Yeah, physical food, okay? Physical food. Second one is sleep, okay? You want to have fun with an employee in your company? Take the nicest person in the company and don't let them sleep for 3-4 days. And they become the meanest person in the company. It's kind of amazing. I mean, sometimes do it just for fun. Okay. Lack of sleep makes anybody, it doesn't matter how good person you are. If you don't sleep for 3-4 days, you will be terrible. You'll be a terrible person. I'm sorry, okay? Second kind of food. Third kind of food, hope. Okay, hope. And what's the famous example? Yeah, a horse in the, Syrian desert, who's dying of thirst, okay? And then they see an oasis. No horse ever died 2 meters from the water. It never happened in history, okay? What keeps them going the last 2 meters? Hope, okay? They can see the water. No horse ever died 2 meters from the water, okay? Hope can sustain a human body, and Buddhas don't eat, okay? They have the 4th kind of food. Focus. They don't have to eat. By the way, if your meditation gets really good, you will have this experience, I predict, okay? You get prediction today. You will be sitting in a quiet place, like a library, and you will notice that you didn't breathe for 10 minutes. And you feel fine, you feel normal. Okay? You'll say, oh my God, I didn't breathe for 10 minutes. Why? Breath is food. Breath is kamkise. Okay? You don't need it to survive. You need focus. Okay? If your focus is strong enough, you don't need to eat. Okay? And you don't need breath. Okay? It's very interesting. Then I'll tell you a funny thing about yoga. I had a yoga teacher. They said, hold your breath for as long as you can. And I'm like, why? And they said, you're going to reach, what is it? Kumbhaka. It has another name? Kevala Kumbhaka. The spontaneous stopping of your breath. It has a name in yoga. Kevala Kumbhaka. Kumbhaka means a vase, or a Chinese vase with a top. Here. And Kevala means automatic. You didn't try to do it. It just happened. Spontaneous. So Kevala Kumbhaka means your breath stopped. So there's all these yoga schools. They say, hold your breath for, 5 minutes. Then hold your breath for 10 minutes. And then, and everyone in the room is like, oh. And maybe you get up to 10 minutes or something. I don't know, 3 minutes, 4 minutes. And you get a headache. You get lung for 3 years. Really. That's not how you stop your breath, okay? Focus. Perfect your meditation. And it will stop on its own, and you will notice it one day. I didn't breathe for 10 minutes, okay? It's not... there is pranayama, right? In Tantra, and you will learn it. And there's many pranayamas. Lungro Gochuk is the most famous. But holding your breath is not going to stop you from breathing. Got it? Learn to meditate deeply, and you don't have to breathe anymore, okay? You got the food the other way. Why are we talking about that? A human being needs focus as much as they need food, okay? If you deprive a human being of sleep for 3-4 days, I did it just for fun, the nicest person in your company will become the biggest. I almost said asshole, but I'm not allowed to say that. My teacher hates it when I curse, by the way, so don't let me curse in the class. Anyway. If you don't let people focus, they will also go crazy. Okay? So a good way to ruin a good employee is to keep interrupting them every half hour with a different job. Okay? Just teaching you future diamond academy. If you want to lose a good employee like Annie, keep interrupting them and giving them another job. And it will make them crazy. Okay? And that's why. Because focus is a kind of food. Focus is a kind of food. Okay? Why are we talking about this? Yeah, we're talking about how to plant the seeds for good meditation. Don't interrupt other people's focus. Come back when they're not busy and tell them about what the cat did. Okay? Don't interrupt people when you don't absolutely have to. If you have to, do it. Hey, the house is on fire, honey. Maybe we need to do something. That's okay. That's not a bad seed for meditation. But in general, be respectful of other people's focus. If your husband's reading a book, if someone's listening to music, wait till they're finished, okay? And then talk to them about the bills. Okay, got it? And your meditation will improve because that's the only reason for meditation. That's the only cause of good meditation. There's no other cause of meditation. It doesn't matter how you sit. It doesn't matter which leg you put up first, okay? The best meditator in my Geshe class meditated on his back. And one night, he beat the abbot of Tharchin in a debate in front of like 1,000 people. This is the guy who only studied on his back, illegally. And he had the illegal tape recorder with rock and roll. Okay? But he never interrupted other people. And his focus was, got it? So it's not the posture. It's how much seeds do you have, okay? That's the connection between class number 9 and class number 3. Good. Question? Doing the book, then yeah. Absolutely, yeah. Doing the book helps your meditation. Yeah. Because when you do bother other people, you can confess and clean the seed. Okay. Let's try to, I didn't think about it to be honest, but how does 9 connect to 8? Huh? 8 is like death meditation. 9 is like be a good person. Any connection there? Yeah, not to go to the hell realms. How's that? Okay, so I guess there's some flow there. How about 9 and 10? What's 10? Yeah, so look, I have 11 minutes. I'll start and I won't finish, okay? Probably the most important book for bodhisattvas is, guess what it's called? A Guide to the Bodhisattva's Way of Life, okay? So it's written by Shantideva around, Master Shantideva, around 700 AD, okay? Around Tang Chao, right? Tang Dynasty. Early Tang Dynasty? No, it's right in the middle of Tang Dynasty, yeah. Trijang, maybe, I think so. Anyway, so he wrote a book called Bodhisattva, Guide to the Bodhisattva's Way of Life. Okay, I'm going to tell you part of the story tonight. I'll tell you part of the story tomorrow. Okay, it's a cute story. He would say Busuku. Yeah, he had a nickname in the monastery called Busuku. Busuku means Mr. Lazy, Mr. Do Nothing, and so he had a reputation in the monastery. He didn't study well. He wasn't a good teacher. He didn't show up in the kitchen to help with the dishes. He didn't help roll the carpets up before yoga. And he especially didn't help roll them back after yoga. Basically, he seemed to be the laziest monk in the monastery, okay? And the monastery got tired of feeding him. You know, we're feeding this guy every day and he just doesn't do anything, you know? So they sat a meeting, they said, let's kick this guy out. And there was a very wise abbot who was a fool. And he said, let's help him kick himself out. You know, then we don't have any responsibility. So he said, what's your plan? He said, let's ask him to teach a class, you know, and he'll make a fool out of himself. And then we can tell him, you know, we need people who know how to teach in the monastery. We can't feed you anymore. You have to leave, okay? So they went to him and they told him, you have to teach, okay? And so he said, you want me to teach something somebody else wrote, or you want me to teach something I wrote? And they're like, yeah, teach your thing, okay? Yeah, you can't even write, you know. He said, okay, I'll teach something. And then he sat down and he taught the Bodhicharya Avatar. He taught the Guide to the Bodhisattva's Way of Life, which is basically a review of the 10 Bodhisattva levels and the 6 perfections. Okay, basically. Although importantly, it includes the meditation preliminaries, okay? So the first part that we study in ACI is the same preliminaries I taught you from his book, okay? So he taught, and it's probably, I think, surely, it's the greatest Bodhisattva book ever written, ever, in Buddhism. Even more cool than what Buddha said. I'm sorry. Like, unbelievable, sweet book, and full of incredibly funny, fun, deep. The emptiness section is studied by all Geshes. You know, it's the best emptiness section ever written. Okay, and it's written in the as personal advice how to be a bodhisattva. Okay, so it's not part of the Geshe course. All right, it's very interesting. Oh, by the way, you want to know the end of the story? In the middle of the wisdom chapter, he started to rise off the seat into the sky. And I put a picture of it in your reading. And the caption, if you can read Tibetan, maybe a word will translate it for you. I found it in... there's the normal picture. Go down to the next picture. Maybe the Course 11. Can you just scroll down? That's Gyaltsab Je, who wrote a great commentary. Okay, next. There you go. What's the last three syllables there? Word? Busuku. Okay, this is Busuku. This is him flying off. Okay, he's got his book in his hand, you know, and he's flying off. And when he got deep into emptiness, he started to rise up in the air, okay? And then there were some monks in the audience who were high yogis, and they followed him. They also said, hey, I want to hear the end. And they started going up in the sky with him. So there's this circle of people around Shantideva. He's like going up higher, higher. And then people drop out, you know. People can't go so high. They can't follow him, you know. And it got less and less and less. And then finally they gave up. And he's still teaching in the sky. And he's headed towards South India, you know. And he disappeared. And he never came back. And it's a famous story. Then they had a big meeting and they said, oh my God, this is the best Bodhisattva book I've ever written. And his emptiness teaching is the best emptiness teaching we ever heard. We need to get the rest. So they actually sent search parties to many cities. They asking, did a guy land here with a book in his hand? You know, and they found him. And they said, you know, we apologize, we made a big mistake. You're actually a great master. Please come back to the monastery. And he said, go to hell. I'm sorry. He said, I decline respectfully. And he never went back. And which is another thing about criticism, right? They were all good monks, they were all nice monks, but they made a big mistake, you know. Then they sent another team, like later, and they said, look, we understand you don't want to come back, we can't blame you, but can we have the book? And he said, I knew you were going to ask me that, so I made a copy, and I hid it in the roof of my monk's room, up above the wood. You can find it there. I left you a copy, you know, and so there's a copy. Okay, so the next 3 courses, because that is so important, that book is so important for how to be a bodhisattva. I did 3 courses. It's 20% of the ACI foundation courses, because the last 3 courses are review. So 3 of the 15 courses are Shantideva, Guide to the Bodhisattva's Way of Life. 10, 11, and 12, am I right? Okay. So I'm going to do 2 things. Tomorrow, I'll tell you the subjects of how I split it up and why I split it up, okay? Why I split it up that way, okay? And then I'm going to let you out 2 minutes early. Good night. I knew you'd be happy. You got anything to... let's see. By the way, Sheree McDaniel, I'm sorry, is the registrar of ACI for like the last 20 years or something. And so without pay, by the way, she's the financial officer of a large city in the United States. So she's doing it for free, which is amazing. So we have one of the most talented managers of a city in the room. And for free, she's keeping all your records for the last, I don't know, I think it's about 15, 20 years. Although she's only 30. So you should thank her. B, you should get on her good side, and maybe your grades will improve. Okay? Would you like to do a mandala? And we'd like to thank you for your work. Yeah. Pugi Joshi Meto Cham Rira Blingshi Ninde Kyampadi Sangye Shindu Mite Uwagi Dokunamda Shingla Chepasho Idam Guru Ratna Mandala Nayatayami Di Kyokun Sanam Yeshe Tsotso Shin Sanam Yeshe Nechuhe Dampa Kuni Topa Sho. By the way, Sheree's father, Dr. Michael Moore, started as a heart surgeon and later became a very famous anesthesiologist. And I think about 20 years ago or longer, towards the beginning of ACI, he offered to check homeworks for ACI students in prisons. And it became extremely popular because they're not allowed to have, you can't send them CD-ROMs because they can make knives out of them, stuff like that. So he took care of them for about 20, 25 years, and he's still doing it. And I think we should give him a hand. Yeah. They love to write long answers because they don't have anything else to do. And you have to have so much patience to check their homeworks because they add 17 pages to the homework and because they're lonely and they have a lot of time. Okay.